And just across the street from Roof's trial, former Officer Michael Slager's murder trial. Slager's accused of shooting and killing Walter Scott during a traffic stop there last year.
On the Today Show, the jury foreman spoke out for the first time after the mistrial on Monday. Foreman Dorsey Montgomery II says that while one of the jurors refused to convict Slager, a handful of others were on the fence about Slager's guilt too.
When that letter was submitted on that Friday, it was because we had one individual who was just deadlocked that he wasn't changing, but yet we had 5 other individuals who were undecided. And so because of that, we went, and when the judge asked me, I believe that we could have deliberated just a little bit more to see if we could sway that particular juror and get those who were undecided to make a decision.
Local attorney and South Carolina State Representative Justin Bamberg spent the last 5 weeks inside that courtroom as part of the team representing the victim, Walter Scott.
Today, he sat down with me about what it was like to hear the judge declare a mistrial and realize they have to do this all over again.
But everybody's hopeful. You know, this was not a win for Michael Slager. It was not a loss for the Scott family. This is what I would call a draw.
And now it's back to the drawing board as they gear up for trial number 2. What will likely be another long, exhausting several weeks as they retry the same case, hoping for a different outcome.
You know, I think the strategy is just to do what was done before. Take some of the information that you're able to obtain from jurors to hone in on key points.
Bamberg was in court for the majority of the trial. You can see him on the video here. He says the question for jurors was not about whether this was right or wrong.
It doesn't matter if you're black or if you're white or if you're gay or lesbian or, you know, Muslim or Christian. You can look at what happened and know that it's wrong.
He says it's about deciding, is it criminal? Is it worth a lifetime in jail? And sometimes that's a harder decision. Let's take us into the courtroom. What did it feel like? What was the vibe inside the actual courtroom?
Well, it can be eerie at times, heartfelt at times, very interesting and very boring.
He said there were times Scott's mother couldn't bear to sit in the courtroom, but she was there for the verdict, or in this case, the lack of one.
You know, after the decision came out that it was a hung jury, I saw something in her, and it wasn't what you would expect to see. You would expect to see somebody who was destroyed by the result they didn't want. But she stood up in front of the world and said, you know, I still have joy on the inside.
I'm just going to rest in the Lord.
With a third federal trial on the way, things are far from over. Bamberg said the solicitor made it clear she was ready to move forward with the second trial just as soon as the judge sets a date, and the federal case should start around the beginning of next year.